watching Thrifty Kaniffy. Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at a very legendary knife. This is the Buck 119 Special Fixed Blade. This knife is 81 years old, introduced in 1942. Quick look at the packaging here. Just got your standard type packaging. Of course, Buck's been around since 1902. You got Buck logo here, legal notice, cancel warning, their mailing address, phone number, and web address. Just your standard type packaging there. And then inside the box, you get this little pamphlet, the message from the Buck family. You can pause and read that if you like. Then on the opposite side, you have the forever warranty information. Alright, so let's take a look at the knife. So the total measure with it in the sheath is about 11¼ inches. And if we look at the sheath and give it a little more detail on this, we got a little drainage hole at the bottom there to keep the moisture out. The stitching along the blade side, and then it just wraps around. And you've got your stitching on the opposite side as well. The belt loop is riveted on at the top and the bottom, and feels pretty sturdy. I think that would probably accommodate about up to a 2 3/4 inch belt width. You've got a wraparound style close with the button there with the Buck logo embossed in there 4 times in a circle. Grips the knife pretty well. It's not going to go out the top. There is some wobble side to side. You can hear that, so you might want to modify that if that's annoying to you. Snap close, wraps around. You can see quite a bit of leather there on either side. We're just going to pull this out for a moment. Take a look at that riveting there on the inside. It's pretty smooth. I don't think that's going to scratch up the knife as you take it out of the sheath. Then you've got a little plastic liner on the inside there. And if we can maybe try to remove that. There we go. You can see that it has a little sticker there that says made in Mexico, but that will come all the way out. So if you need to replace it or clean it or whatever, not a big issue. But there you go. That's pretty nice black leather sheath from Buck for the 119. All right, so let's take a look at the specs of the knife itself. We'll talk a little more about it. You've got a 10 3/8 inch length, and then you got a blade length of, it's supposed to be 6 inches, but it's just shy of that. It's about 5 7/8 with a cutting edge of about 5 1/4. All right, so this handle is right at, if we start here, 1 2 3, just about 4 inches long, we'll call it. It's got phenolic on the handle. It's got a little bit of grooving there. You can see it's pretty thick, but you can see these grooves, and so it makes for a pretty comfortable grip. You can get your hand all the way to the top there, which is nice. I like being able to rest my forefinger against the grip. Then you can also grip it down here. It's got a little bit of a finger choil there, you can see. Got to be careful, but I mean, it is there, and you can also kind of operate this with the thumb at the top. So very comfortable knife in hand. It's a very thick handle. It's very secure. I like that the handle is nice and large, and the width makes just for a better grip in my opinion. Nice attractive pommel with that drop down there at the bottom to keep your fingers on there. Won't slide off the back side. And nice size guard, does the job. Not going to slide your finger forward there. So just a really well designed knife. Of course, been around for 81 years. One of the most popular fixed blades there is out there. The construction of the knife now is made from 428C. Since 1992, they've been using that. You can see on here they've got the Buck stamp with the model number there, and then the date code. Well, that was probably 2023. Yeah, looks like a 2023 date code on there with a little Ziggy line there, and then USA below it. Get the fuller on the blade, sabre grind. You can see that hollow grind on the bottom there, bottom half. Blade edge is really well done, symmetrical from kind of tip to the choil. And if we look on this side, pretty much the same. Yeah, looks pretty even across there. So pretty happy with the grind on this one. I know there's been some issues with the the blade edges on some of the Buck knives we've seen lately in reviews, but this one looks pretty good, so pretty happy with that. Now these are $75. You can get them at Amazon, Walmart. They're available pretty much everywhere. This knife is pretty available almost any place where you can buy knives. And we talk more about the construction here. This has a rat tail style tang. It's actually goes through the phenolic handle, and then there's a rivet here. It's hard to see because it's been so polished, but there's a rivet hole right here, and the pin goes there and is hammered on both sides and smoothed over. But the construction is pretty well done. They also have epoxy between each layer of these little pieces here. So this is aluminum, right? Then they'll put some glue on there, and then there's a micarta spacer, and then another piece of aluminum, and then they'll glue the handle on. Glue the handle on this side with the spacer, and then the micarta, and then the pommel goes on the end. And they have a little machine that drills a hole through the pommel and then inserts the pin, and then they make the pin flush on both sides by tampering it down and then smooth it over there with polishing. And you've got a really sturdy handle. Now, is it going to be as sturdy as some of the more durable tactical knives and so forth? No, it's not. I mean, it's a good camping knife, hunting knife, skinning knife. Is it going to be the most durable knife in the world? No. You could damage it if you were really heavy use with it. But for all intents and purposes, it's going to be a pretty good camping knife or hunting knife for just your basic needs. And you know, I don't recommend trying to put this through a big piece of wood with knots in it or anything like that. It's really not designed for that. But again, get the forever warranty on this knife, so if you have any defects or anything like that, you'll be taken care of. Now, a little more about the history of it. They introduced this knife in 1942, so it's not about 81 years old, okay? And it kind of got its fame in World War II when it was used by soldiers. And they kind of shared the story of the knife with their buddies, and so it caught on and became a lot more popular after World War II. Sold a lot more knives. The early days, they had lucite handles, and they might come in blue, red, green. They were all pretty inconsistent. Didn't have any kind of a standardized handle on them. But then at some point, I guess when they acquired enough money, had enough funds, then they could standardize a handle, and they went to mail order, and that's when they really sold a lot. Buck really made a lot from the mail order knives, and like the 40s and 50s when they advertised in like Field and Stream and different magazines, hunting magazines and so forth. But now they've just standardized it as a black handle. You can get the upgrades on this. They have a Commado version with D2, and then they have a Pro version with a green micarta handle that is got S35EN. That's like $200. I think the Commado one's around 120, something like that. So, I mean, you can get some upgrades on this, but this is the standard version. It's $75. Again, you can get these at Amazon, Walmart, etc., etc. But just a really classic knife. It's very iconic. I mean, if you're going to be owning any kind of a fixed blade collection, or you're really into knives, this is definitely one of the standards, and to me, like an iconic carry. But that's going to do it for my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This wonderful Buck 119 special. Very much the, I guess, classic and iconic fixed blade to own, and one from Buck that I really enjoy. So, 2 thumbs up. If you enjoyed this review, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment below. Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you next time.